You have to understand, like, some people are used to going on trips. Some people are used to only going trips on first class.
Wow.
Some people are only used to flying private.
Yep. Wow. Yep.
So if you start to make new normals for yourself, they will come true.
They'll happen.
Wow.
Period.
There's a problem with the brain.
You know, transformation is man, I don't know if I can say it any
Go
better
ahead.
than
Go
that.
ahead. You got it.
I don't know if I can say it any better than that. But it's true. I think everybody gets to a point in their life where they want to be more, be better, and you do have to transform. And transformation is more about unlearning some of the things you have learned.
Wow.
To move forward. And so
Wow.
if you don't get rid of some of the practices and the things you do now, it's hard for you to transform because
Wow.
it all starts here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did y'all hear what he said? He said, unlearning some of the things you have learned. It all starts here. I want to come back to that because I got a follow-up question to that. But
The mind is the most powerful thing you possess. So if you don't want to change, you're not going to be able to change.
Wow.
And for me, it's for whatever thought you have to be able to have a complete opposite thought.
wow.
You got to be able to challenge. And that was one of my things on how, I got to the point where I'm now, is I had to start challenging. Because once you want to change, then you start to see other opportunities and things, and then you start to challenge what you do know.
That's good.
AKA unlearn.
That's good.
And so for you to unlearn some of the things that you do know, you got to be willing to challenge all the thoughts you have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, why am I driving on the right side of the road?
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
just something as simple as that.
Wow.
So anything you got to do, you got to unlearn it, and then you got to put something completely opposite in the mind to be able to just go through the problems. I think that's an excuse.
Okay, let's go.
I don't think
that's good.
I don't think anybody nobody ever says I don't want to be in shape. I don't want a six pack. I wake up every day saying I want it. That don't mean I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah, right.
So I think that saying that they fear to be better is actually not true.
Okay.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and says I don't want any more money.
Okay.
Right? And so it's an excuse because you actually don't want to change. You go right back to the core thing is you actually don't want to change.
Right.
I mean, but let's be honest though, like being successful, being in shape, being mentally fit, being whoever you actually want to be is tough.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's
So,
work too.
Yeah, it
so the
comes-
real
yeah.
thing is
It comes with a price.
Most people don't want to work.
It's work too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most people don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. So you have to first change that part of you.
Yeah.
And be like, you got to look at it from a different angle because it's hard. It's hard to be a great person.
And the thing about it though, it's like flying. So as I understand it, a plane uses the majority of its energy taking off.
Take off.
That's it.
Wow.
It doesn't
Right?
act.
It
It
takes off
doesn't
against the wind.
It takes off against the wind. It actually doesn't need a motor to fly.
Right.
Wow.
And so well, once you get up, when you're at 10, 15, 20,000 feet, that sacrifice, all that hard work is behind you, and now you cruising.
That's all. That's it.
And so everybody got to understand. I just gotta get off the runway.
Oh man, that's a good analogy.
And the higher you go, the better your glide ratio is,
Wow.
which means the higher you are, the further you can go. When with no engine.
The higher you go, the further you can go.
With no engine.
With no engine.
With no engine.
Did y'all hear
Don't forget
that?
that.
So I ain't doing all the work I did on the runway.
Not all that stuff we started with.
Yeah. So as a pilot, so you want to go to high heights as much as possible, right? The higher you are, the more safe you are.
Gotcha.
If your engines fail, then you have a glide ratio that gives you, for every 1,000 feet you're up, you get so many mile of glide, right? So you can get back to safety, right? So if your engines quit, you can coast for 75
Y'all
miles.
hear?
100
Every
miles.
season, we need to be climbing 1,000 feet.
You got to.
So we can glide even farther.
Drive further.
When you turn the engines off.
Wow.
Exactly.
In order to succeed, you have to fail.
Oh.
And I'm gonna tell you the number one reason why people don't try is because they're afraid of failure. But they're not afraid of failure for themselves. They're afraid of what you think
What
when
we
I
think
fail.
about it.
Wow.
And what you think when I fail.
Wow.
So because you got to know when I started working out and going to diet, I said I'm gonna lose 25 pounds.
Yeah.
But when I only lost 21, I didn't care. Right?
Right.
I didn't care what you thought.
That's right. That's right.
So you got to, and so that was a failure. But my failure, I lost 21 instead of 25. That's a good failure.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to fail forward.
When you took off in your plane for the first time, why didn't you have fear that anything was going to happen? Like, meaning, like once you went off by yourself,
My first
your
solo.
very first solo flight.
Before you answer, can I say something real quick? His goal was to fly. His goal wasn't to stay on the ground, right or wrong. So, do you think he want fear of flying right now? But now I want you to answer. But if the goal is to fly, then we ain't gonna stop till we do what?
Fly.
Till we fly.
Yeah.
Because he been living on the ground. Then he came with a whole new goal. But I'm gonna let you answer that question. Y'all told me to be organic, right?
I mean, for me, you actually solo before you even get your license.
Oh, wow.
So your license allows you to have people in the plane with you. So I would say about an hour 15 or 20, I was flying the plane by myself.
Wow.
And the reason why I wasn't afraid of taking off that first, I mean, you get jitters because now there's nobody beside you. We just did it a bunch of times. We kept
Trained
going,
for it.
we kept going up every day, every clear day. I was going up, flying and flying. And then one day we landed, and he said, "All right, go by yourself." And I looked at him. I said, "What?" He said, "Go by yourself."
Wow.
And we did it. And now I fly anywhere in the country by myself. What you got to also understand is that you never really lose the fear.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
understand the consequences. So when you when you start
Man,
to
that is so
swim,
good. Yeah.
That's good.
right? So when you don't know how to swim, you're afraid of the water,
That's good.
right? And then you learn to swim. That don't mean you stop afraid of water. You just
Exactly.
understand that the deeper I go,
Exactly.
I'm okay with the idea that hey, I may not come back up.
And man,
Wow.
and you also understand the rewards.
Correct.
Whoa.
When I understand
That's
the
good.
rewards as well,
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I'm gonna do
That's
it
good.
afraid.
It's not like entrepreneurs are afraid of not afraid of like or start having a business and waking up every day and not counting on a paycheck on Friday.
Exactly.
We just know the reward and we know the other side of it too.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fine.
real estate wasn't my passion. I'm not in love with real estate.
Wow.
I'm in love with real estate, the wealth that it can bring for
Right.
future generations. But real estate allowed me to make enough money to go out and do all these other things I wanted to do.
Got you.
And so I was solving a problem in the real estate community, and then I solved the problem in education world for the real estate, and that was it. But you have to solve a problem.
That's good.
You know, his business solves the problem.
Yeah.
You need transformation in your life, not only mind, but also body. You go to AWOL.
Right.
Same with Rod. He had a business that he identified a problem in a certain medical field, and he went after and attacked it.
Right. That's good.
And so if your business does not solve problems, and that leads to just you. And so when you start to solve problems all the time in your business, you start to solve them in the real world.
That's right.
And so now you look at things, and everything you see, you look at it from the vision of how can I fix this?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
How can I fix something's there? How can I fix it? You don't complain about the problem. How can I fix this? And if you run around with that mindset, you'll find a way to make money.
Yeah.
Money is the byproduct of just solving problems.
Wow.
Do not pour from an empty cup.
Whoa. That's good.
Right.
That's good.
So if you've been on a plane lately, I know we've had this thing going on for a whole year. If you've been on a plane lately, one of the first things they say when you get that safety briefing is put your mask on first before you help the person beside you, even if it's your own child.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Can I add to that?
Add
Please.
to it, baby.
People, if you don't take anything away, don't drink from an empty cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Please do not drink from an empty cup.
That's right.
You know,
Tell 'em what
nobody
that means, bro.
what that means is I can't take you somewhere I've never been.
That's right.
So when the person is telling you how they're going to help you become this great entrepreneur, this multimillionaire, this, transformation, if you don't how can you, drink from that person and they've never transformed anybody? They just know how to do it in theory. They read a bunch of books.
Bunch of theories.
But they haven't done anything. In the words of Maxwell, they ain't done nothing.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, he's something.
Okay.
Because it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You got to just do exactly what he said.
Yeah.
But do you actually want to do it?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, and don't look at this pandemic as something negative. Like,
Talk to him, Max. That's
Like-
what I want to go.
there's a lot of people who've made. I made a lot of money during the pandemic. So people who solve problems actually, not that we look for problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So like when something like this happens, we double down on whatever it is or recognize new problems and we solve them.
Wow.
When you're a problem solver, problems is how you make money. Problems is how you succeed, how you feel fulfilled. So you go out and you solve them.
That's right.
Wow.
So don't look at this pandemic as if you listen to the news cycle, yes, it's terrible. Yes, people are passing away. But listen, it's going to be a new normal.
That's right.
And somebody has to create that new normal.
Yeah.
And that's out of somebody solving problems.
Wow.
I've spent more money on Uber Eats than I've ever spent in
swear.
my entire life.
Wow.
In the last 12 months. Why? Because they solved the problem for me.
Wow.
I didn't have to leave the house.
Why are people as a whole trained to focus always on the negative?
Because listen, I said this in one of my speeches in 2019, I think it was. But if you ask somebody what they want, first thing they're gonna tell you is what they don't want.
Oh.
Yep.
So
Which is what they get.
you are programmed to block opportunities because you just haven't opened your eyes to see them.
Wow.
And it's a herd mentality too. Everybody's talking about the pandemic and the negative aspects of if you can sew and you didn't make masks to sell,
Right. You missed
the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't sew. Didn't know nobody that could. I mean,
No.
if you didn't know how to formulate hand sanitizer and put them in
missed
plastic bottles
You
and
missed
stick them on a website,
Yeah.
if you know how to do that and didn't do that, but you were listening to the news and watching the numbers go up and focused on that aspect versus your hand sanitized formula.
Yeah.
You have to understand, like, some people are used to going on trips. Some people are used to only going trips on first class.
Wow.
Some people are only used to flying private.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So if you start to make new normals for yourself, they will come true.
They'll happen.
Wow.
Period.
I don't know. I don't believe I have full life discipline yet. Right? There's still some things I lack in. Like I don't work out every day like I'm supposed to.
Oh, don't worry about working out. I'm talking about the good stuff. No, I'm just joking.
So my health, and I say work out, I mean like I haven't reached that health 100 like I've reached personal life 100. And so it's a working thing, but I am very disciplined when it comes to business. And so I think once you have to find something you're obsessed with. Right? You like the gym, you can't live without it.
Right.
And so once you find that thing and that thing you're obsessed with, I mean that discipline just comes behind it. It actually doesn't feel like discipline.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you could be anything you want to be, and that can be everything or nothing. I mean, that's just up to you.
That's good.
And you need to learn how to be selfish so that you can be selfless.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
So put your mask on first in life.
Wow.
Take care of you. And I don't care who it is beside you that needs their mask put on. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
Wow.
So you need to take care of yourself, and then you can help the people beside you. And if they don't understand that, go do it anyways and come back and get them later.